Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television and Board Game. Today we've got a dual video as we're going to be talking about this graphic novel from a game company. Yeah, this is actually a fairly interesting one. So Corvus Belli is the company behind the miniature game Infinity. We're going to have some cool stuff coming from them very soon, but they released a graphic novel this week. Right in front of me, it's Infinity, Betrayal by Víctor Santos and Agustin Graham Nakamura. Based in their world. Now what's really neat is there is a limited edition version, which is this nice limited edition there, that also comes with a miniature. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do an unboxing right now, and then come back for a part 2 of this video, you know, just give it a little bit, and do a review of that. So the review is just going to come right after the unboxing, but I thought the packaging was really interesting and neat and unique. So we're going to open up and show off what's inside. So for those who don't know, miniature games are awesome. They are really, really cool. I love miniature games. And Infinity is one of the more popular ones, and in it is kind of like a smaller skirmish game. You don't need, dozens and dozens of figures. And honestly, I'm just kind of like learning about the game myself and learning about the world. So what they did here is the story is about a certain character. It's special operative Ko Dali. It's a limited edition miniature inside, and the miniature's actually inside this packaging, where I thought was really neat, because I went, Corvus Belli hooked us up with this review copy, and I opened up the package, and I was like, where's the miniature? And then I really looked at this package and figured out the miniature was inside of it, and thought that's pretty damn cool. So this is what you can get. This is the miniature inside. Not huge. We're not talking big giant models. They tend to be like, yay big. And you put them together, you paint them and add them to your games. So this is what we got as far as miniature. It was just kind of in the top of the graphic novel. Let's see what else is in here. I think it's just, this is just cardboard filling for the rest of it. That's about it. And we got the graphic novel. So overall, I think kind of cool packaging, if you ask me. It's a nice combination of everything. I think this is like, see if we can get prices on here. I don't know what it is in US dollars. For some reason, off the top of my head, is like 25 euros, I think was roughly the price, if I remember right, from the advertisement. But of course, we'll have stuff underneath when we eventually do this. Alright, so we're going to go take a pause. I'm going to go read this full graphic novel and come back and do a review of it in kind of part 2 of this. So back in a bit. Hey, welcome back for the second part of our video, this time reviewing Infinity Betrayal, graphic novel set in the Infinity universe. Now, it's by writer Víctor Santos and the artist Agustin Graham Nakamura. Víctor Santos is actually one of my favorite comic creators. I love the work that he's done previously, and you should definitely go check it out. So, again, recap is Infinity Betrayal set in the world of Infinity, Corvus Belli, their miniature game. They also have a fairly new starter that has come out recently. We're going to go do some fun stuff with that over on Board Game Today. But we're here to talk about the graphic novel. Again, this is the limited edition that comes with the miniature of the main character in this Ko Dali that this mystery surrounds. Alright, so I came into this not knowing anything about Infinity. This is a game, I don't know really the background. I've seen like the miniatures, the game, stuff like that at conventions, and the miniatures are pretty cool, and I have some friends that play, and they seem to really enjoy it, so I've been intrigued by this, because, I like miniatures, miniature games, and I thought maybe I would dive in with this graphic novel as the first thing to start, and generally the graphic novel is fairly easy to get into. Now, again, I don't know the world, so I'm coming in this completely blank, and I will say right away that those who already know the world of Infinity probably will appreciate this much more as far as a story and part of the greater picture as to the game and its world. But as someone coming from the outside, as a miniature gamer who is a comic fan, I'm really coming at this as the comic fan, and for the most part, like I enjoyed it. Like there's definitely it kind of throws a lot of terms at you, various factions, names, stuff like that. And for someone who's new, it was a little confusing, I'll be completely honest. But the story itself was fairly easy to follow. Now, the story is simple. There's this soldier named Ko Dali who died in battle and then comes back. Now, the question is, her coming back is like, is she a replicant? I forgot the proper term that they do it, but like a clone? Is she? Did they go and wipe her memory? Because she's fighting the army that she used to serve. So there's all these questions about her, and she's captured. So the State Empire goes and sends this agent to interrogate her and try to figure out what the hell is going on. So a good chunk of the book, probably like 2/3 to 3/4, is really just this cat and mouse game of back and forth of trying to figure out what is up with this soldier who's been captured. Is she is she a traitor? Is she something else? And that's really interesting. Like, for something that's a miniature game with tons of action and all sorts of battles, that really is only like a third, maybe a quarter of the actual graphic novel, and it's very much at the end. But the majority of it is I'm not gonna say dull and boring, because it's not at all, but it's that like slow interrogation, someone trying to grab evidence as to what the hell is going on and putting pieces of the puzzle together as far as this mystery, and this soldier. Like, kind of very like A Few Good Men sort of thing, where it just goes on and it really dives into the investigation and the study. And it had me guessing the entire time. And the thing that might frustrate some is there's really no answer. Like, at least I came away with there's no answer. And they might have actually given an answer, and I just didn't understand the words being used, and it kind of went over my head. But I walked away with like we don't necessarily know everything about Ko Dali, which is kind of cool, and that's who the miniature that comes with the game is. So the story, I think, is really cool. Like, obviously builds to a crescendo of a battle, not too shocking, but I really like the build up and the back and forth and the discussion, all that. And there's a glossary in the back with some terms that kind of talks you through stuff. And the art is really good. I don't know if I know Agustin Graham Nakamura. That's not a name that jumps out at me. So I think that's kind of interesting. Like, it's not a name of some of the stuff. So let's say, did stuff with IDW. Yeah, I just like nothing that I can really think of that is jumping out. Whatever. It's a cool art style. It's a very kind of a manga-esque art style that works really well. It reminds me a lot of All You Need Is Kill, Die Another Day, Die, Repeat, Die, whatever it is. All You Need Is Kill, I think, was the original manga name of it. And it just has that kind of vibe for me, and I dig it. Like, I think the designs are really cool. The characters, for the most part, are unique. There's a couple that blend together, but they're not primary characters, so them kind of folding in is not necessarily a bad thing at all. Let's show some of this. This is, to me, like, very GW is this battle scene, which is kind of not a bad thing at all. It's kind of what it evokes to me. But you can kind of see, like, we get battles, we get some action in there, but for the most part, like, a lot of the comic is it's interrogations and discussions and mind games. So I dig it. Like, I really, really like it. As an introduction to the world, I found it really intriguing and interesting, and I want to see more comics. I'd love to see more in this. I don't know if I would necessarily dig like a prose book off of it, because I liked the visuals, but as an introduction to the world, like, it did a fairly decent job, and it got me into be interested in more of the world of Infinity and these characters themselves. It actually made me want to play a certain faction in the game, with Ko Dali's faction, which I think would be really, really cool. So overall props, like, as a graphic novel, it's cool. As a package of like gaming and graphic novel, I think it's really, really neat. So we're gonna go and have some fun with this. We're gonna try to put the figure together and mostly do that over at BoardGameToday.com. You can go find it and maybe do some Instagram photos. We paint it up. We'll see if I can how my skills are. It's not gonna be like that, but you never know what I'll be able to pull off. But beyond that, like this is pretty cool. This is pretty neat. We're gonna have a link underneath this video. I don't know if this is in comic shops or comic shops can get it, but we'll see what we can do. If nothing else, we'll have a link to the Corvus Belli, their website, where you can get it at a minimum. We'll do that. I absolutely have no idea what sites are carrying this. Some of them might be affiliate links. We don't know, but we'll of course we'll have that in the text if they are. But again, I want to appreciate, like, Corvus Belli hooked us up with this review copy and appreciate it. I appreciate this. I appreciate the actual Infinity game, and I'm going to dive into that fairly soon and check that out with the Battle Pack starter. Really interesting world. And as an introduction, I think this is really solid for me. I love the concept. I want to see more of this. The idea of comics and miniatures together in one package is something that, of course, is me, nice, well-rounded geek, really excited about. So props to them, and really, really neat. We'll see if certain other companies maybe do something similar with their miniature game line and comic crossovers. So as always, if you are into miniature games and games in general, check us out at BoardGameToday.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at BoardGameToday. And then if you're into comics, GraphicPolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff, all at Graphic Policy. Basically, just search for the sites, and you'll find, or go to the main site and hit the social network links there. As always, much appreciated. Until next time, keep reading those comics and get your game on. Hey, thanks for watching Board Game Today. We always appreciate your views and your support, but there are so many ways for you to support our site. Not only can you do right here on video, but you can go and check us out at BoardGameToday.com, where we have more news, reviews, interviews, everything you could ever want. But since you're here, if you could, you can always give us a like, subscribe, or share our videos, or watch something else. As always, much appreciated, and get your game on.